A significant and alarming incident unfolded last night as two Russian drones originating from the Odesa region of Ukraine briefly entered eastern Romania airspace, a clear violation of the NATO members' sovereignty. This incursion immediately triggered a robust response from the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, with two F-16 fighter jets scrambled to track the unidentified aerial vehicles. The drones subsequently exited Romanian airspace, returning to Ukraine before reportedly striking targets in the Donbas region. In a swift counter-narrative, Russia has vehemently denied any involvement, dismissing the incident as a false flag operation orchestrated by Ukraine. This event has further exacerbated tensions in the Black Sea region, raising serious questions about airspace security, NATO's defensive posture, and the potential for miscalculation in an already volatile conflict zone. The detection of the two Russian drones breaching Romanian airspace represents a critical escalation in the ongoing conflict. Romania, as a frontline NATO member sharing a border with Ukraine and situated strategically on the Black Sea, is acutely sensitive to any such incursion. The drone's flight path, originating from the Odesa region, suggests an operational trajectory that brought them into proximity with and ultimately over Romanian territory. While the duration of their presence in Romanian airspace may have been brief, the act itself is a serious violation of international law and a direct challenge to Romania's national sovereignty and the collective security of NATO. Such incursions are not mere accident but carry significant political and military implications, testing the resolve and response capabilities of the alliance. The immediate and decisive reaction from NATO underscores the gravity with which the alliance views such a violation. Upon detecting the drones, two F-16 fighter jets were promptly launched from a NATO airbase to intercept and track the intruders. The scrambling of fighter jets is a standard procedure for responding to unidentified or unauthorized aircraft entering alliance airspace, demonstrating NATO's commitment to maintaining airspace integrity and readiness. The F-16's highly capable multi-role aircraft are equipped with advanced radar and targeting systems, allowing them to effectively monitor and, if necessary, engage aerial threats. Their rapid deployment served as a clear signal of NATO's vigilance and its capability to respond swiftly to aerial incursion originating from the conflict zone. The drone's subsequent departure from Romanian airspace and their reported targeting of the Donbas region in Ukraine introduced a layer of complexity to the incident. If confirmed, this trajectory suggests that the drone's primary mission was indeed to strike targets within Ukraine, and their entry into Romanian airspace may have been a consequence of their flight path or navigation rather than a deliberate act of aggression against Romania. However, regardless of intent, the fact remains that a NATO member's airspace was violated by Russian military assets. The strikes on Donbas further ties the incident directly back to the ongoing conflict, emphasizing how the war in Ukraine can spill over into neighboring NATO countries, even if inadvertently. This highlights the inherent risk of military operations conducted in close proximity to international borders. Russia's denial of involvement and its assertion that the incident was a false flag operation by Ukraine introduced familiar patterns of strategic communication observed throughout the conflict. Moscow frequently employs such narrative to deflect blame, sow doubts, and undermine the credibility of accusations leveled against it. By labeling the drone incursion as a false flag, Russia attempts to shift responsibility onto Ukraine, suggesting that Kyiv deliberately orchestrated the event to provoke a NATO response or to garner greater international sympathy and support. This narrative, while lacking credible evidence, served Russia's broader propaganda objectives, aiming to muddy the waters and prevent a unified international condemnation. However, such claims are often met with skepticism by Western intelligence agencies, which have consistently debunked similar Russian disinformation campaigns. The implications of this incident for NATO are multifaceted. Firstly, it reinforced the ongoing challenge of securing the alliance's eastern flank from potential spillover effects of the war in Ukraine. NATO members like Romania are on high alert, constantly monitoring their borders and airspace for threats. The drone incursion underscores the need for continuous vigilance, robust air defense system, and rapid response protocol. Secondly, it tests NATO's Article 5 commitment. Although in this instance the violation was brief and the drone quickly exited, thus not immediately escalating to a full-blown collective defense scenario. However, repeated or more aggressive incursion could force the alliance to consider stronger deterrent measures and potentially invoke elements of collective defense. The incident also highlights the operational complexities of managing airspace in a conflict-adjacent region. Drones, especially smaller ones, can be difficult to detect and track, particularly when they are designed for low-altitude flight or operate in areas with complex terrain. The speed and effectiveness of NATO's response, scrambling F-16s to track the drones, demonstrate a high level of operational readiness and coordination within the alliance. This rapid response is crucial not only for interdiction, but also for intelligence gathering and providing proof of airspace violations. The ability to quickly identify and monitor such incursion is vital for both defensive purpose and for informing diplomatic and political response. From Romania's perspective, this is not an isolated incident. There have been previous instances of debris or drones from the Ukrainian conflict landing on Romanian territory, albeit usually described as accidental or uncontrolled. However, a deliberate flight of operational drones into its airspace is a more significant violation. The Romanian government will undoubtedly be evaluating its air defense strategies and coordination with NATO partners to further strengthen its border security. The political leadership in Bucharest will also be under pressure to ensure that such incidents do not recur and that Romania's sovereignty is robustly defended. This incident will likely lead to further discussions within NATO about enhancing air policing missions and potentially deploying additional air defense assets to the region. The Black Sea region itself is a geopolitical hotspot, central to both Russian and NATO strategic interests. Russia maintains a significant naval presence in the Black Sea, and its operation in Ukraine heavily rely on access and control over its western coast. NATO, through its members like Romania, Bulgaria, and Turkey, also has vital interests in maintaining freedom of navigation and ensuring regional stability. Aerial incidents like the drone incursion over Romania complicates this already delicate balance, increasing the risk of unintended confrontations and misjudgment. The proximity of Russian military operations to NATO borders necessitates extreme caution and clear communication channels, which are often absent in the fog of war. The false flag accusation from Russia, while predictable, further complicates the narrative. It forces NATO and its members to not only address the physical violation, but also to counter a concerted disinformation campaign. Effectively rebutting such claims require transparent communication, verifiable evidence, and a unified front from the alliance. The challenge lies in presenting irrefutable proof to a global audience already saturated with conflicting information. The psychological warfare aspect is as critical as the military one, as it aims to undermine public trust and divide international opinion. Looking ahead, this event will likely lead to intensified aerial surveillance and patrols along NATO's eastern flank, particularly in regions bordering Ukraine. There may be calls for increased intelligence sharing and closer coordination between NATO air forces to detect and track potential incursions more effectively. The incident served as a stark reminder that the war in Ukraine is not confined to its border and that the risk of spillovers into NATO territory is a persistent and evolving threat. The alliance must continuously adapt its defensive strategies to counter both the direct military threats and the associated disinformation campaigns emanating from the conflict. The overarching goal remains deterrence, aiming to prevent any direct military engagement between NATO and Russia while unequivocally defending member states' sovereignty and territorial integrity. The swift action of the F-16s, coupled with Russia's denial, paint a clear picture of heightened tension and the constant danger of unintended escalation in the region. That's all for me for today. If you like the video presentation and you would like to follow for more, hit that subscribe and like button now, and we will continue to build this show for you. Thank you to all of you guys who have subscribed. It means a lot to me. Thank you so much. I will see you soon. Bye for now.